The IPL 2024 season has just begun, so we thought we should talk about how it has shaped cricket in India and across the world. Spoiler alert, IPL is actually pretty bad for cricket. But wait, before you start reporting this video, just give us 10 minutes and we'll tell you why. Hi, I'm Akanksha and you're watching FinshotsTV. Unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know IPL is one of the biggest sporting spectacles of the world. Let me put that into numbers so you can grasp the scale of how big IPL is. 11.5 million viewers watched the finals of Major League Baseball in 2023. 11.64 million viewers watched the NBA 2023 finals. 115 million viewers watched the 2023 Super Bowl finals. Coming to the viewership numbers of IPL, 120 million people watched the IPL 2023 finals on JioCinema. And more than 100 million viewers reportedly watched it on Disney Star TV. And mind you, IPL has been only around for the past 15 years and most of these leagues are decades old. The only sporting league that beats IPL in terms of viewership is FIFA, and IPL is expected to close that gap too in the coming years. The organization that has benefited the most from IPL's meteoric popularity is the Board of Cricket Control for India, or BCCI. BCCI organizes IPL every year. The fact that IPL draws so many eyeballs every year has turned it into a money minting machine for the BCCI. Let me break down the amount of money IPL has made in the past few years. BCCI sold the broadcasting rights for IPL 2023 to 2027 for a whopping 4,839 crore rupees. That is close to $6.2 billion. The breakdown was as follows. Disney Star won the TV rights by paying 23,575 crore rupees, and Viacom18 won the digital broadcasting rights by paying 23,758 crore rupees. But broadcasting rights are not the only means through which IPL makes money for the BCCI. There are multiple sponsorships floated by the BCCI every year for IPL. For example, title sponsorships, official partners, strategy timeout sponsors, official orange cap and purple cap sponsors, umpire sponsors, etc. And each of these sponsors pay BCCI a ludicrous amount of money. Take title sponsors for example. This year's title sponsors are the Tata Group, who paid a whopping 500 crores to BCCI. Or take the strategic timeout sponsors, which is CET. They paid 240 crores to win that bid. The craziest part is that there is no dearth of advertisers during the IPL season. So much so that BCCI has created several spots for advertisers out of the recurring events during the matches. The first few seasons of IPL did not have a timeout sponsor or a power play sponsor. They've been turned into advertising opportunities in the past few years. Also, the price tag for each of these sponsorships has been skyrocketing since IPL's inception. Take a look at this chart for reference. In 2008, DLF won the title sponsorship for 40 crore rupees per year. In the next bidding, the price doubled to 80 crore rupees. Then it went up to 100 crores. And next, it went up more than 4 times to 440 crore rupees. The sponsorship amount witnessed a slight dip during the pandemic, but is up again this year. Now, it's not like BCCI takes home all of this money. It does share half of its revenues from media rights and sponsorships with the franchise teams. But the thing is, team owners don't take a lot of money back home because they spend tons of money on maintaining the teams. Take the case of Chennai Super Kings, for example. Despite being one of the most successful IPL teams, in FY23, they only made 13 crore rupees in profit as per their financials. You can only wonder how much other teams are making. BCCI also earns money from franchises. The owners have to first pay a lump sum when they buy the team, and then they have to pay up to 20% of all the revenues that they make by the end of the season to BCCI. Clearly, IPL has made tons of money for the BCCI. But BCCI was not always drowning in money. Until 1991, BCCI was not making any money out of cricket. In fact, it was actually paying Doordarshan 5 lakh rupees for every match they wanted to broadcast. This changed in 1991 when the South African cricket team came to India and paid BCCI $40,000 for each match they played in India to ensure the matches were broadcasted. This prompted BCCI to start selling the media rights of its matches to broadcasters. BCCI was steadily growing its coffers via media rights, sponsorships, branding deals, etc. And in 2008, IPL happened. IPL has made BCCI one of the richest and most powerful sporting leagues in the world. And it's all because Indians, who happen to be the largest population on earth, love cricket. And when Indians watch cricket matches, they buy the products advertised during those matches. BCCI's net worth, as per its FY22 financials, was at a whopping $2.5 billion. So being one of the richest sports body means BCCI is transparent about its finances. Not exactly. There are multiple instances of the BCCI lacking financial transparency. For starters, despite sitting on so much money, BCCI does not disclose its books of accounts for long periods. From 2017 to 2022, BCCI did not publish its financials and only released them for FY22 after receiving a lot of backlash. Next, the board has also been opaque when it comes to the calculation of player remuneration. The thing is, not all players have huge brand deals. Most of the players are a part of domestic tournaments or are junior cricketers who depend on the money BCCI pays them. In 2004, BCCI finalized a new format for player remittance inspired by the Australia's cricket board. They announced that they would share around 26% of the revenues that they make with players apart from the player's salary. This arrangement was called Gross Revenue Sharing or GRS. The revenue was going to be shared in a ratio of 5:4:1 among international, domestic and junior players. But the reality was different. The BCCI was only paying 8% of its total revenues to players as GRS. This is how they arrived at this number. Out of the total earnings, they set aside 70% for the state cricket associations and then they shared 26% of the remaining 30%, which comes around to 8%. Moreover, they changed what constitutes as revenue for BCCI under GRS multiple times over the years. Income from IPL, remittances from ICC, etc. are not taken into consideration while calculating BCCI's revenue. Now, you might think that if BCCI is responsible for such an important institution in India, that is cricket, they are legally bound to maintain some level of transparency? Not really. The thing is, BCCI is actually a private body. This is unlike most of the sports bodies in our country that come under the government. BCCI is not a national sports body under the Union Sports Ministry. It is actually a charitable organization under the Tamil Nadu Societies Registration Act. Okay, fair enough. But the BCCI is answerable to the International Cricket Council or the ICC, right? Not really. In theory, ICC oversees BCCI at the international level. But this does not come in practice. BCCI yields so much power in terms of viewers it brings from India and the amount of money it has that they've often bent ICC to their will. You see, if BCCI does not like something about a tournament, they would withdraw from it, which means taking away hundreds of millions of eyeballs from the tournament, leaving broadcasters and advertisers hanging dry. The ICC has to make sure that the Indian team is visible across its tournaments to make sure it's worthwhile for everyone's money. Take the example of the ICC World Cup. 16 teams played in the 2007 World Cup. 14 teams played in the 2015 World Cup. Now they're down to 10. The fewest number of teams in more than 2 decades. That is because if fewer teams compete in the match, it increases the odds of India being in more World Cup matches, making more money for advertisers and broadcasters. Some folks might argue that not more than 10 teams are competitive enough to play in the World Cup, but we leave it up to you to decide. Is limiting the game of cricket just to a handful of countries actually going to help in spreading the game? India has also forced the ICC to change the revenue sharing model between cricket boards of the world and ICC. The previous model made sure every member of the ICC got an equal share of ICC's revenue. But under the new model, BCCI takes home the largest chunk. Clearly, BCCI has a closed chokehold on cricket, not just in India, but across the world. It has only been possible via the riches it has made for itself through tournaments like IPL, which only work because Indians have immense love for the sport. But don't you want the world to share your love for cricket? It seems highly unlikely unless BCCI changes its course. How do you imagine the future of cricket? Let us know in the comments and follow FinShots for more.